All right, we are live. We're here. Welcome, Caitlyn, to the OxFit podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Have you ever done a podcast before?
I have not. This
All
is my
right.
first time. I listen to a lot of them, but
Yeah. First podcast, first live video podcast. I make sure to tell people now that it's a video because a lot of times when I invite people, they think they're just going to be like talking and then they're like, oh shit, like I'm on camera.
yeah.
Well,
I
thank
put on
you.
mascara just for you.
Oh, thanks. Well, today we are going to chat all about you. So, for people that don't know, you are a member here at OxFit, but since July, you and I have been working together on some specific goals you had for Beach Brawl, which was back in September. And then now we've got HYROX coming up around the corner. So, it's been a super busy season for both of us. We both competed at Beach Brawl. We're doing HYROX together. And we've been, doing the coaching program. But just to backtrack, why don't you tell us a little bit about when you started at OxFit, why you found OxFit, and what your transformation or changes have been just since joining the gym in general.
Yeah. So I joined, I think in like March or April of last year. So 2024. So my 1 year was earlier this year. Actually, so I'd been kickboxing at Roundhouse down on Moreland and another kickboxing gym for like the last 3 years before that. And my gym just happened to be going through renovations for a week, so they were closed. So I just did a little class pass to OxFit, and as a testament to Caitlyn's personality, I really loved the class that I went to, and I was really looking for a place with like more community that was more than just like working out and then going home, and I really felt that even from like the first class. So I really liked the workout, and I've just gotten so much stronger, and I forgot how much I like to lift weights, which I hadn't done since like high school. And I, just kind of like the journey of getting stronger and more fit, and the level of fitness has increased like exponentially from when I was just doing kickboxing. So it's been a great program, and I've seen a lot of changes in myself, both inside and outside of the gym. So I've really enjoyed my time here.
Awesome. Yeah. No, that's great. So you were with OxFit for a little over a year, I guess, before you kind of like took that next step to have an OxFit coach on top of, doing the regular workout. So if anyone's listening and you don't know what that actually entails, Caitlyn still went to OxFit classes just like normal, but she had me as her coach kind of in her back pocket. We were working on nutrition together. We were working on, accountability. Not that Caitlyn really needed it. She honestly wanted to work out maybe a little bit too much. So I was able to like rein her in a little bit. But yeah, nutrition, accountability, and just for us specifically, it was very focused on Beach Brawl and HYROX. So the approach to those events, kind of how we're going to tweak your training so that, yes, you still primarily work out in OxFit classes, but we're doing just a couple things differently to get you ready for events that are hyper focused on certain skills like Beach Brawl or HYROX. So that might answer my next question. So what made you kind of take the leap to go to one-on-one coaching versus just going to class?
Yeah, so I did Beach Brawl as a team, scaled team last year. And at the end of that, I said, next year I want to do it by myself and I want to do intermediate. And so when we got, when it got closer in the summer, I was like, I want to do this and I want to do it well. So I need to get serious about this. And part of that, like a big part of that was nutrition and I think accountability. So like once we got engaged, I was super accountable, but like over the summer I was going to the gym like 3 times a week and eating McDonald's. So like I really needed to get my stuff together. And I just thought like having you there kind of like monitoring what I was doing and just making sure I was like hitting milestones and that I was eating right. Like I needed that oversight to kind of make sure that I was on track to where I wanted to be.
Yeah, definitely. I know like the scaled, I'm so glad they have the scaled divisions because I think it's so great as like that entry into competition. So if anyone ever wanted to test their fitness, any member of OxFit that is going right now could sign up for the scaled division and they would have a blast. They would do great. But like you said, going to that next level, challenging yourself to harder workouts, harder skills that we may not get to practice all the time in the gym.
Mhm.
Just having that extra focus is super important. And it's one of those things like, we all know what we need to do to be
Yeah.
better, but it's one thing to know what you need to do and it's another thing to have someone like looking at your workbook with you and being like, did you eat how you were supposed to, or did you drink enough water, did you have your protein shake? Like just knowing that that extra set of eyes is there can do so much for me too. And that's why I have a coach. Caitlyn's my nutrition coach, so having someone have their eyes on you just makes it so much easier to follow through than just being accountable to yourself.
Yeah. If I didn't have you looking at my food diary, I would not like I knew once I got into it, like eating what I needed to eat it was difficult, but it wasn't impossible. But there's no way I ever would have like stuck to that had you not been like there looking at it because it's just something that's like kind of hard to do like out of the gate by yourself, I think.
Yeah. So how do you think, I know we still have HYROX on the horizon, but after that, we're going to be in a place where we don't necessarily have a big event breathing down our neck. So how do you feel that like the nutrition coaching that you went through is going to help carry you through like the holidays and, the start of the new year?
Yeah, I think it just really built a foundation of discipline with, I still logging all my food and trying to follow my macros. And um this time last year, I had like already completely fallen off macros. So I'm already doing better than I was last year. But I think it'll just help me keep on track one thing that I've noticed is feeding I've always felt like really tired when I'm working out, and I just thought it was because I wasn't not in very good shape, but it really is that fueling piece of the equation that if I'm well fed and I'm like putting the fuel in my body that it needs, then I just feel so much better and I perform so much better. And the minute I stop doing that, I just feel sluggish and tired. So I think part of it is knowing how important it is and like seeing the results of actually feeding myself in a meaningful way and consistently and what that does for my performance at the gym. Like I think that will help me keep on my macros and keep on my nutrition.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and so much of what we do working together, like, yes, I do love taking the progress photos. I'm going to pop yours up and brag on you for a second, but it really does. It's all about how you feel during the workouts, how you feel when you wake up in the morning. And so if we are eating enough food, especially when we were training at such a high volume,
Yeah.
it just, you look so much better, you feel so much better. And less food is not always the answer, especially when we're doing something like beach brawl. You got jacked, bro.
Yeah, my arms are pretty big.
Yeah, shoulders are popping, your abs are popping. You just look like a fucking athlete. Like, and I don't think we ever talked about eating less. We talked about eating differently. We talked about eating more good stuff and making sure we ate before we worked out. We had a protein shake after we worked out. And all of that resulted in, yeah, some amazing results. You were crushing it. But I'll
Yeah.
take it down. I know you don't love.
No, it looks good. I mean, I don't think I'd seen that second picture before. So yeah. I mean, I've definitely noticed a change. And I just feel so much better and I feel so much stronger. And um, yeah, I'm really happy with the results.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super proud of you, and you definitely have gotten. I mean, you were already strong to begin with, but it's cool to see like your body, you're able to lean out, you're able to get faster, you're able to get better at gymnastics and not sacrifice any of your strength. So do you feel like you were able to go into it and retain all of your gains while also maybe feeling a little bit lighter on the rope and lighter on the bars?
Oh yeah, I think I think they kind of like grew together, right? Like I definitely was growing in strength. I mean, I continue to PR, so I know I'm not just because I'm leaning out doesn't mean I'm getting weaker, but yeah, like doing gymnastics, yeah, and the rope, like I just feel we did toes to bar yesterday and I just felt they actually looked really good and I just felt lighter on that as well. So I think like as I can continue to lean out, I think all of those movements will get easier, but I don't think I've sacrificed any strength for them.
Yeah. I want to pull up your rope climb video because I want everyone to see how
Ooh.
tall the rope was.
I have PTSD from this rope.
Yeah, I do too. But proud of you for getting up there. We all got humbled by the rope. That might be tiny. Can you see? We can see that kind of.
Yeah.
But I'll fast forward it. And you guys can just see it took so many pulls to get up there. I'd say like it felt like it was 3 times as tall as
yeah, as
the
ours.
rope in the gym.
Yeah.
And that was something that like objectively you were struggling with, like the rope climb. I was like, oh, I don't know how this rope climb is going to go, but we just trusted the process and we kept working together. And we didn't do rope climbs every single day until your hands were falling off. We practiced rope climbs maybe once a week for the couple months leading up. And then when we got there, you had the proper nutrition, you had the strength, you had the confidence, and it was just one pull at a time and you get up the rope. So
yeah,
is that a good feeling to get up there?
Yeah, it was really good. I think the only frustrating part was like just my judge DQing me on one that I know I touched the top, but other than that, yeah, I mean, honestly, the whole thing was the hardest thing I've ever done, and I've kind of I don't know. I just like really wanted to commit to it. And I think I did. And I mean, I put everything, I don't think I could have done anything differently. And I think I put as much into it as I possibly could have. And I was just really happy with how I did. Especially because I went in like very worried about everyone around me. And I knew that that was going to be a problem like mentally for me. And so when I just started that first workout and after that, I was like, everything else is kind of like, I can do this. Like, it's going to be okay. And whatever I do, I'm going to be proud of myself for it. So,
yeah, I think, a lot of just on surface level, looking at something like beach brawl, I think there's so many athletes, especially here in the gym, they'll be like, oh, that's not my thing. I don't want to compete. But we really don't go there with a competition mindset. I mean, I think everyone on the OxFit team, we're so good about always bringing it back to you. Like, but think about where you were 2 months ago and think about where you are now. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't care what the other people next to you are doing. Think about you and all the hard work that you put into it. So I'm glad you're able to reflect on that and feel like you couldn't have done anything differently. And you just leave it all out on the floor and you're just proud of yourself for crushing it. And it wasn't, I mean, there were barbell snatches, there were double unders, there's rope climbs, there's toes to bar, chest to bar, all things that are, pretty high skill, things that are not easy to do. So being able to just go somewhere and like execute is a really cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, a year ago, I couldn't do any of those things, like it was like, learning how to do all of these things has been in a relatively short time. I don't think, some of the people that we were competing against have been doing this for years and it's all they do. And, I would just say if you are scared of competition or you can't think that you do it, I never thought I would be in a CrossFit competition ever. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm good at in my life. Like working out was not one of those things that I thought was going to be something that I'd be so passionate about or capable of. But this experience has been like really rewarding and gratifying and just like letting me know that I can push myself to do things, I'm like no spring chicken. So I'm like trying things in my mid-30s and that's just a really cool feeling, I think.
Yeah, it's great. And I think, especially with some of these skills, like you said, a few months ago, you couldn't do, whatever it is, the chest to bar, double unders, toes to bar. There are so many people sitting at OxFit right now that have been a member for 3 years and would like to be able to do those things and still can't. And really all you need is a focused approach. So if you work with a coach and you set a goal and you say, by this date, I want to be able to do this, or I want to be as close as possible to doing this, we can make more progress in 2 months than you just spending a couple years trying to figure it out on your own.
Yeah. I think that's 100% true. I think even, I would do like extra workouts after our daily workouts with some other people that were going. And I do think that some other people struggled where, if there was something that I wanted to work on, I could go directly to you and we could like spend time working on that. And it's not even actually doing the movements, but you're really great at giving guidance on how and like the approach and how to think about how to do something right. So like the gymnastics can be as mentally frustrating as they are physically frustrating. And so having, like your professional guidance on like how to approach, how to do a movement and like how to work through maybe feeling frustrated that you can't. I think it was super helpful.
Yeah. I love being able to do that because I was there too. And I had, great coaches, Ant and Lauren, doing the same thing for me. So I know how valuable it is to like also just have someone there to remind you, like, you're going to get there. Like if you keep putting in the work, you're going to get there. So even though during this class right now, you're not stringing together toes to bar, you're still putting in the work by practicing your kip or doing your V-ups or whatever it is that you're doing. So just having someone to remind you that we're going to get there in the end, you just have to stay positive and you have to keep moving is really valuable, I think.
Yeah, very, very valuable. And another thing that I noticed is, I'm very results oriented but that like immediately. And so my problem is like, oh, I couldn't do this today. I'm really frustrated by it, but fitness is so cumulative. And so, at the beginning of July, I couldn't string together 5 double unders, but then practiced for months, in a very focused way. And then you get it. And like all of your practice over a given time, that's what gets you to the place that you want to go. It's not like that 1 hour you're spending on any given day. And that's like a hard thing for me to it was a hard thing for me to understand before this experience, but I was like, oh, 2 months later, I am in such better shape and I'm so much more capable than I was. So it really does make a difference that you're consistent and you're just like putting in the work over a good amount of time.
Yeah. So just kind of, you said you're a results oriented person. So thinking about that, so like what were some like immediate results you saw? So maybe we can think of immediate as like, the lead up to Beach Brawl or like, July, August, September versus what results do you think you've seen now that you've had time to kind of reflect on the process afterwards?
I think immediately, even within the first, I'd say like 3 to 4 weeks of eating better, sticking to macros, using your suggestions of like better foods to eat, I felt less tired. Like I felt more energized in the workouts, simply because I was just fueling myself better. So that was, and then I also like felt slimmer, like I know I wasn't like losing weight per se, but I did just feel better and I felt less heavy, probably less bloated from less salt. And then now I think just I feel more in shape than I ever have. And I just feel like I'm in such a better place to like continue to get more fit. Like I definitely want to keep like leaning out, getting stronger, getting better at things. And I just feel like I'm in the best shape to continue to do that now. And I honestly, I feel way more motivated to continue to work on things now than I did after Beach Brawl last year. Cause I like really wasn't as engaged with my macros and just like my overall fitness.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, I'm glad that, yeah, preparing for something the right way and feeling a sense of accomplishment afterwards can be such a catalyst for like continued growth rather than there was such an emotional build up to this and I did it and I don't know if I did good because I don't know what my goal was. I don't even know what I wanted to do and
Yeah.
now I'm just over it. So
Yeah.
being able to just have a clear, I put in the work, I did what I wanted to do, I'm proud of myself, this is what I want to do next. It can just give you a lot of clarity and make it so much easier to set your next goal, which for us is HYROX.
Yeah.
Together. I'm excited, but you also said a great thing earlier. You said the fitness is, it's all cumulative. So all of that work we did preparing for Beach Brawl, even though this is a very different test of fitness, all of those habits and all of that preparation are still putting you in such a great place for this race. The only thing that we're tweaking is getting more of our endurance, longer workouts in just to get our body ready to be working for an hour and a half instead of working for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I am. I mean, I am very scared about HYROX, but I mean, you are right. Like I had some medical stuff happen the past few weeks that kind of like took me out a little bit. But even coming back and doing like longer workouts last week, I felt okay. Like I didn't die. So
Your base is there. Like your
yeah,
fitness is there. And it's so much easier to bounce back after something like that when you're starting from such a great
yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah. I was worried about that, but you're definitely right. It's now I don't know how fast I'm gonna be, but I don't think I'll actually die during HYROX. So I think that's
No, our goal is to just do it.
good. Yeah.
Especially for something like that, if that's your first I think of HYROX as like it's kind of like a half marathon. Like that's about the length of time that you're working. So like it's a pretty significant endurance event. So I think, just doing the thing is a perfect goal to have,
Yeah.
especially when you and I were so focused on Beach Brawl and we had a very quick switch in gears. I think we're going to do great, but I think, finishing it and just having fun is a great goal to have. That's my goal. So
Yeah. Good, because that's my
no
goal.
stress.
I hope that's your goal because that's definitely my goal. So.
That is definitely my goal. Great. So what would you say, if you have athletes you work out with, people you see in the gym, if they're thinking about working one-on-one with an OxFit coach, what would your advice be for them after your experience?
Yeah, I would say if you're trying to work towards something specific, any goal, it doesn't have to be a competition or anything like that. I think this like one-on-one training is a great way to kickstart kind of that focus, like a program, and have you really kind of like make a plan, work with you to make a plan to get you to where you want to go. I think if you think that it doesn't make that, like it wouldn't make that much of a difference, it's a world of difference. It's like it's the accountability, it's the suggestions, it's the training, it's honestly like having someone to even just talk to about like your anxieties about not being able to do A, B, or C, right? Like you're not just a coach, like you're kind of a partner in the journey to get better in whatever way that is. And I think it's like it's totally worth the investment. And I mean, I'm a testament to how effective it is. So I would say
Oh yeah, you are.
yeah. Do it. Go
So
for it.
after that, what do you think, like, what moment is sticking out from you for the past few months that you're like, I'm so proud of myself for doing that? Do you have any specific like events or movements that you did in a competition or things you did outside of the competition that you've just like seen yourself do?
I mean, I think, everything. I think just like honestly, one thing that I was really proud of is at the beginning of kind of the weekend beach brawl trainings, I was feeling a little frustrated. There's just, there's people in the gym that I really admire and want to be as fit as, like JC or Kiki or, you. And at the beginning of training, I was just feeling very frustrated or kind of defeated, like, oh, I'm not going to get there. They're light years ahead of me. But then by the end of training, I was keeping up with everyone, and I felt good, and I was doing the movements, and it was kind of like, I have a very bad habit of comparing myself to everybody, but when I got to the place where I was like, I can do this, I am doing it. And I'm as strong and as capable as the people that I admire the most in the gym. And that was a really good feeling, because it finally, I was seeing the results of all of the hard work.
Yeah. You said it a nice way. I'll be honest. You beat them in a lot of these workouts. It's okay. You can be proud of yourself for beating people. It's okay to have, like, look up to someone, want to keep up with them. And in that moment, you're like, shit, I'm beating them. Like, that's valid. And you're allowed to be proud of that. And I think one moment, and, I just said it's not about other people, but it was so cool. The first event you had was on the beach. And you were winning. And I remember looking at Ann, I looked at Caitlyn, I was like, is she about to win this event right now? And you ended up getting like third place, but it was amazing. And like the announcer was like, Caitlyn Livingston is not putting the dumbbells down. And like, it was just such a cool, like it could have ended there for me. Like I didn't care how you placed. I didn't care what you did, as long as, you were proud of yourself and you felt like, you had a fun, enjoyable experience. But in that moment, I was just like, fucking beat everybody. Like, I was so hyped. But it was so cool to see. And that was a proud coach moment.
I didn't expect that at all. So that was really cool.
It was a great start to the weekend. But you're allowed to feel proud of yourself for, doing well. Because it's validating. So that was awesome. It was a great weekend, and I'm pumped for HYROX. And I think, we got a lot of goals to set. It makes me excited to cook up some stuff for next year, so that we can get you signed up for.
Excited to, I definitely think I'll do Beach Brawl in the spring. We'll see how much I hate HYROX when we do it, to see if I want to do it again. But I think, we all have day jobs and a bunch of stuff going on in our personal lives. And the cool thing about like picking these events to focus on is, for me, it's like, I love working out, and I love, like, I really love setting a goal and then achieving that goal. Like, I'm goal oriented in that way. And this is a very no brainer way to do that. Right. Like, sign up for something hard or a little challenging, or that you didn't think you'd do before, and just work hard and try to do the best that you can. And I think it's a good way to, it's a good hobby. It's good for you. And it's just a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, I had a blast. The past few months have been great. I loved working with you. I loved working with all of our athletes, but I hope this was a good little glimpse for people into what it can be like to have, a coach, but also, like you said, just a partner in your journey to hold you accountable, to celebrate with you, to calm you down, to reassure you that everything's going to be fine. And we had an awesome time at Beach Brawl. We're going to crush HYROX, and we're going to set some big goals for the next year. But I'm glad we did this now. I'm glad that, you weren't one of the people that are like, I can't this year. I need to wait for next year. Like, now's the time. Like, if you set the foundation and you build the habits now, you are just going to be light years ahead of people that are constantly waiting. So I think this was a great chat. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. Any last words, thoughts?
No, I just, I appreciate you so much. And OxFit is really, kind of like a second family. And I've just had a lot of fun being here and working with you and doing these like really hard things that I never thought I would. So it's been really cool.
That's what we're about. All right. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the gym, and I will see you at some HYROX workouts before the the big day next week.
You will.
All right.
All right.
Let's
Thanks.
go.
Bye.
Bye.